Today on Ballistic BBQ, I'm going to attempt to make an edible version of Chef Gordon Ramsay's infamous failed grilled cheese sandwich. Let's get going. So before I start cooking, I just want to throw this out there. I am in no way trying to claim that I'm a better cook than Gordon Ramsay. I have a lot of respect for Gordon Ramsay, all of his achievements. We've been to one of his Hell's Kitchens restaurants, had an amazing dinner there. But the man made a horrible grilled cheese sandwich, and I have a lot of problems with it. And the internet had a lot of problems with it. I'm going to try to make an edible version of his recipe using his ingredients. And then I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. I'm going to change one of the ingredients out to see if I can make an even better version of his grilled cheese sandwich. But I think there are a lot of problems with the selections he made for the ingredients in the sandwich. And in all reality, probably what happened is a bunch of behind the scenes folks, came up with this recipe. He waltzes in and they said, here, make a grilled cheese sandwich out of all this stuff. But anyway, let's get going. So I'm using a pretty rustic bread here with a lot of whole seeds and grains mixed in here. Really good bread. Gordon Ramsay used a similar bread in his recipe. He cut it from a whole loaf. This came pre-cut, but one of the comments he made was to make a good grilled cheese sandwich, you need thick slices of bread. And that was one of the mistakes he made, at least because of the cheese choice he made. So bread's always going to burn faster than the cheese will melt. And he tried to cook this live fire in a fireplace, like a hearth, in a skillet, and he completely lost control of this cook. It was way too hot, burned the bread, cheese didn't melt. It was just, it was a travesty. But anyway, like Gordon Ramsay, we're going to go ahead and spread some butter on the outside of this bread. This is unsalted butter. And I do this whenever I make a grilled cheese sandwich. And it's funny, as I'm making this, I kind of harken back to years ago when my son was just a little guy. My wife and I went to a pretty nice restaurant in Coronado. And, my son, he was just a toddler and he liked simple things. So he wanted a grilled cheese sandwich. We asked the waiter, hey, can you guys make my son a grilled cheese sandwich? Of course, they could, they did. They brought out the grilled cheese sandwich. And those paper dividers that you see in pre-sliced like cheddar cheese? They left the divider in there. So my son's sandwich literally had paper in it. So thinking maybe the grilled cheese sandwich is also the Achilles heel to Michelin star chefs. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. So again, unsalted butter. Now, like Gordon Ramsay, I'm just going to season the outside with a little bit of salt. All right, so we'll start with Ramsay's sandwich first. So he used 2 cheeses, and I'm using the same cheeses that he used. First is a Pecorino Romano with peppercorns in it. So it has whole peppercorns in it. The next is an Asiago. Now the problem, especially with this cheese here, this Romano with the peppercorns, it's a hard, dry cheese. It's more of a crumbly kind of a cheese. And what he did in his video was he sliced these pretty large blocks of cheese off of both of these and expected these to melt, and they didn't melt. It was hilarious. Again, he cooking in this hot pan, threw olive oil in there, it's smoking, the bread is burned. And I don't mind when somebody posts a failed recipe, a failed cook, but don't try to sell it off as this huge success, because throughout the video he's talking about how great it was.
Beautiful.
And he slices the sandwich and he's opening it up, probably expecting this beautiful, stretchy, gooey presentation, and it just looked like the cheese was right out of the refrigerator. It was just still intact, perfectly square blocks of cheese.
Look at that. Oh my goodness me.
And then he's trying it, and again, it's just the best thing he's ever eaten.
Oh my God. It's oil. Oh my God.
I saw an interview recently where he was kind of confronted on that, and he admitted, yeah, it wasn't a good sandwich. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't agree with this choice of cheese for a couple reasons, and I'll get into the other reason in just a sec. But anyway, what I did was I grated the cheese. So this is that Romano, that Pecorino Romano with the peppercorns. And I think, you know, grating the cheese will hopefully help this melt a little bit better, because it definitely did not melt on his video. And these thinner slices of bread, I'm hoping the heat will transfer into the cheese and maybe get it to melt a little sooner. His didn't melt. Here's the next thing which I am puzzled by, is kimchi. He put kimchi into between the two types of cheeses. And this is a good kimchi from a Korean store. It's house made. And what I did was I just kind of minced it up a little bit. And so this is one of the things that was puzzling me, is with his decisions, or whoever made the decisions here. And the main problem I'm having with these choices, besides it's not really a melting cheese, is, and I'm going to have to use this word I hate using now, but umami, but it's going to help me explain. So umami is basically a term that chefs use. It was actually came out in 1911 by this Japanese chemist, but it's talking about foods that are high in glutamate. So MSG, monosodium glutamate, is umami. It basically enhances flavors. So what a lot of chefs are doing, it was really trendy, but they're still doing it, is they're using foods that are, or ingredients that are high in glutamate to enhance other flavors. So one of the foods that's super high in glutamate are this hard, dry, white cheeses. Okay, so that's high in glutamate. That's umami. And also fermented foods. So kimchi is also high in glutamate. It's an umami ingredient. So normally what you'd want to do is use these type of ingredients with an ingredient where you want to enhance that ingredient's flavor. So this is just umami on umami. You know, it's glutamate on glutamate. There's really no ingredients in here that you're enhancing with, you know, any of this stuff. This, like I said, the super high glutamate content. But anyway, so I've got that kimchi down. Now, again, that Asiago that I shredded up. This is a little bit softer than that Romano, that Pecorino Romano. We'll see what happens here. And there we are. So now we're going to make my version, at least what I would have done. So we'll go on with that Romano first with the peppercorns. So that's my bed of umami. What I have here is, this is a fig jam. So a fig spread. Figs, you know, dried figs, regular figs, they go very well with cheeses. You'll see it on a lot of the charcuterie boards. And what I'm intending on doing is letting all this glutamate in this cheese kind of enhance the flavors of the fig. And you know, we have, so umami basically means savory. So we have all this heavy duty savory going on, and now this nice sweetness of the figs here. And this is also a very good combo. I love using these fig jams on a hamburger. Oh, so good. So now that Asiago. Here we go. Oh, let's cook. Okay, I'm using my flat top here, and I'm using more of a medium to medium high heat. First thing Ramsay did, and I'm going to do, is lay down some olive oil. Sandwiches down. So we're cooking here, it's sizzling, but it's not that crazy hot smoking heat that he was using. I just want to make sure that we get a nice toast on the bread and that the cheese does melt. And for this cook with this cheese, I may actually do a couple flips like I would if I were kind of nurturing a steak along. Like it's getting a little bit melty here, but that again, that Romano cheese, that Pecorino Romano is a very hard cheese, very dry. I think that Asiago's going to save the day on this. All right, I think this is about as good as it's going to get. So this one right here is Ramsay's kimchi version, and this is mine with the fig spread. Let's slice Ramsay's first. Got a nice crunch, nice toast on the bread, which I'm happy about. See, we've got some melt there, but we're just not getting that like stretch, that crazy stretch you would get, you know, with a different cheese. I mean, a Jack cheese, an American cheese for sure. I mean, that's the all-American grilled cheese as far as I'm concerned. All right, let's check out mine with that fig jam. I'm really happy with the toast. Again, we don't have, you know, that stretchy. That Asiago I could see was melting, but you know, that Romano, that Pecorino Romano just kind of stayed, it looked like it was just put on the sandwich, the whole cook. I just did not want to burn the bread like Gordon Ramsay did. All right, let's try these out. I'll go with his first, with that kimchi. You can definitely smell that kimchi. Let's see what happens. Here, that's looking a little better. Again, that Asiago definitely melted. Now let's see how it tastes. I definitely got a decent melt. I mean, even that the Romano cheese melted, but again, it's just not the same as, like I said, a cheddar or an American Jack cheese. That's all the Asiago. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't like this because it's good. It's definitely very savory on savory. I am a huge fan. I love kimchi. I love going to Korean barbecue. So if you're not a fan of kimchi, I don't know if you'd like it, but you know, kimchi it's basically fermented Napa cabbage with, you know, some spices, some peppers in there, hot peppers, and it's good. It's playing off the cheese well. I like this. It's a shame Gordon Ramsay's didn't work out. So here's mine with the fig. That fig is definitely, you know, melting throughout the cheese. It's good. I mean, again, I love that cheese fig combo. I think if I were doing this again, I probably would have went a little bit lighter on that fig jam. It's just really kind of taking over a little bit. This is really good. One of my all-time favorite burgers that I created was a burger. I called it the June bug burger, and I made like a bacon jam, and I used fig jam in the recipe. It's good. It's difficult to say which one I like best, but for today, I'm going to give it to I'm going to give it to Ramsay's. Shockingly, I really like this combo. It really works, and I didn't think it was going to. That kimchi just is really playing off well with the cheese. So yeah, hats off, Gordon Ramsay. Mine is really, really good. I used too much of the jam in there, so that's on me. But this is good. Maybe a little of this with this. So my opinion has definitely been changed on the sandwich itself. I do think the cheeses work really well as a sandwich with that kimchi in the middle. The big, huge mistake that Gordon Ramsay made, and it's funny because I think at Hell's Kitchen, what would he have said to one of the chefs if they brought that up to him? You know, he would have thrown the sandwich across the room and called him a donut, a few four-letter words. So it just sort of surprised me and kind of disappointed me a little bit how he was trying to pass this off as a success when it clearly wasn't. There wasn't any melted cheese. Again, the bread was burned. He just lost control of that pan, and I'm wondering if maybe it's because Gordon Ramsay just doesn't really have a whole lot of live fire cooking experience. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing spitballs, but for the record, I'm going to say that the kimchi on the sandwich definitely works. It's a good sandwich, and I would make this again. I would definitely change the cheeses up, though. You know, I would use like a Mexican Oaxacan cheese, and then maybe something with a little bit more of a stronger flavor, like a cheddar in there. But this is good. Anyway, appreciate you stopping by. If you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscription button, ringing the notification bell, and thumb the video up if you like it. I hope you did. Keep the suggestions coming in, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.